Wow, yeah. So Daifukatsu, there's going to be a lot of things happening very very fast. The kind of the TLDR for version 1.5, and anyone who's also in the voice chat right now alongside, if you want to hop in and give some more clarification, that'd be great. Um, so the TLDR for what's going to be happening in version 1.5 is there's a hyper mechanic similar to what we'll see later in Dyojo, but the difference is in Daifukatsu the hyper can cancel bullets, and you're going to be able to gain some chain from canceling bullets, and you want the chain value essentially is a multiplier that's applied to the value of enemies that like as you destroy them. So if the chain value goes above a certain threshold, it will multiply the amount of points that you get for each enemy. That's similar to traditional DDP chain. Where it's different in Daifukatsu is that that multiplier mostly applies when your hyper meter is full, but you're not actually actively hypering. So the basic strategy is you get a hyper as quickly as possible, you use that hyper to crank your chain value as quickly as possible, and then you keep yourself in that point chain for as long as you can so that you carry over that multiplier and build your get point counter quickly. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens in DOK with regard to the bees. So there's these bees that are going to be on the ground, and they'll be green or gold or flashing in between. And I don't remember exactly what each of those things does, but like I think the gold gives you point bonuses, the green gives you extra hyper buildup, and the flash gives you both, maybe.
That is correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then the other thing to watch out for is there's different mid bosses that are available on each of the stages, depending on certain conditions that you can fulfill in the stage. So the easiest way to do that is to destroy 3 targets in the scenery at the start of stage 1, like pretty much right away in stage 1, before a big tank comes in and rolls over them. And if you do that, it will kind of push you over to a second area, and you'll enter the Ura route for mid bosses, which generally speaking you want to do for scoring potential, I believe.
Just a slight correction: you have to do the tank.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then there's a few other requirements for Ura. I believe you have to collect all of the bees, and I think there are 10 bees per stage. And similar to DOJ, if you collect all the bees in one stage, then they increase in value in the subsequent stages. So like the points that you get from collecting them increases. Arrange A is a completely different game, which is much more in line with the way that DOJ works, in the sense that you can build up multiple hypers and they can kind of stack behind your ship. You can have up to 5. And you have to physically collect the hypers. They drop from the top of the screen instead of just instantly appearing in your inventory, so to speak. And then in Arrange A, my understanding of it is that the majority of your points are going to be coming from cranking your multiplier by canceling bullets with your hyper, instead of from the get point count. And so you're going to want to be canceling as many bullets as you can with hyper over and over and over and over and over again. And if his routing is anything like it is in his world record recording, we're going to see Spino basically constantly in hyper. So he's almost always going to be using hypers and burning hypers as quickly as he possibly can in order to crank his hit count to some truly obscene numbers, hundreds of thousands of hits. And the difference is that you can I'm tripping over myself right now. You can also switch between a normal and a boost mode in Arrange A, because I think we're going to see the strong style. No, that's power style.
Yeah,
power is normal and boost.
Yeah, so power is normal and boost, and there's also some tricks involving how and when you switch there. When you're in boost mode, you can get certain bosses to shoot more bullets at you in Arrange A, for example, and that's something that his routes seem to be based on. So.
And I don't believe he can bomb either, right? He can only hyper, isn't that right?
I think he might.
Believe in Arrange A, if you have a hyper, you can. It's like literally like DOJ.
Yeah,
right.
Like DOJ.
Yeah.
And I think in power mode you only get like a couple bombs, because you can only pick them up from stage collectibles. Whereas in bomb or strong mode, I don't know if those are different things in Arrange A, but like in the traditional game, in bomb or strong mode, you get a whole bunch of bombs and you auto bomb and such when you take hits. But
yes.
Yeah. In the normal game, like the choice between like bomb, strong, and power, it's like basically playing 3 different games with the same basic.
Yeah. Does anyone happen to know which mode is going to be played?
Are you talking about Daring?
Ship type?
I'm talking about HIS's run.
Oh.
If it's a high
I have
scoring
no
run,
idea.
If it's a high scoring run, I assume it's
It might be power.
power, because power is the
Yeah,
highest
okay.
scoring,
Right.
but it's also the highest
Yep.
skill ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Power is also just
Could also be
incredibly crazy.
strong. Strong's really popular.
Strong is really popular because it's a lot more simple.
You know
don't have to
what?
worry
We
about
might
switching
be able
modes
to cheat
counter
and
lasers.
look.
Or milking.
I'm gonna look
Power
on the
style has a
video
lot of
index
milking.
and see if I can
Yeah,
see if he has a run
Milking.
on there.
yeah. An important thing that Softdrink, there are
Okay.
aliens that will shoot lasers, much like the
His
Yeah.
plays
laser.
Be Strong.
Be strong.
Be strong.
Okay.
Oh, that's the style I know.
He has the highest scoring replay in Be Strong on the index.
Sweet.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see Be strong. So he'll be able to counter lasers at any time. A nice thing.
Wait, power style can't do that?
Or
So you have to be in boost mode in order to counter like heavy lasers
with power.
power.
Strong
Yeah.
can counter lasers, I think, anytime.
Oh.
Yeah.
He
And-
picked strong.
Yes.
Yeah, Be strong. So
And when we talk
It is-
about countering lasers, enemies can fire lasers in this game that you have to push back with your own laser, which is quite an interesting mechanic and not something we see in a lot of other.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so here both of them
They're
starting
both,
hyper.
they're both
basically
going
at
for the same
time.
route. And I
Well,
think
no,
they're
no.
both trying to get into Ura.
Yeah, they are both going to try to get into Ura, but they're going to do it in slightly different ways. So you see, HIS like cranking his hit counter by canceling some of those bullets, and then he picked up a B there, but you didn't really see it on screen. So he's just kind of letting all these enemies shoot at him while he's not really in their direct line of fire. Destroyed the tank before it hit those silos. Yeah, there you go.
Also, shoutouts to Daringspino for increasing his stream quality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
During
Is he-
Shmup Slam, it was literally like a 10-frame
slideshow.
PowerPoint.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, both of them in Ura. And fun trivia fact, a lot of the bosses in Ura are recycled bosses from the first Dodonpachi game.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is really cool, yeah. So you can see already like the massive difference in the hit counter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at him
You
go.
know, 66,000 is going.
Also, fun fact about Arrange A is that ship model is unique to this mode.
Yeah, that's the Diojo Type A ship.
That's the
Yeah.
DOJ ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
And those are DOJ hyper icons, too.
Yes, they are.
I wish they
They
kept
sure
them
are.
because
Yeah.
they're way cooler than the counter.
Yeah, they're really
You
quite
get
cool.
to keep your hit count all the way to the boss. I haven't played a lot of DFK, so
Yeah,
I'm just
You
surprised.
can, but so the way that the hit counter works is it will, if your hyper gauge is not full, then the hit counter will slowly decrease over time. And it decreases faster, I think, depending on the larger it is. So like if it's very high, it'll decrease more quickly. But basically, it will slowly go down. It won't immediately drop if your chain drops. However, if your hyper gauge is full, which is also when you get all of the score multipliers applied to your get bonus, then it will drop immediately as soon as your combo counter goes down. Like as soon as the combo timer runs
I
out,
always
it will
wondered
drop.
why that happened.
So the combo timer is very hard to see in DFK's UI right now, but like it's this little rainbow colored bar. It's vertical, and that's next. That's like to the far left, upper left corner of the screen, next to the hyper gauge, and the hyper gauge are those horizontal bars. So in vanilla DFK, HIS's run, there's only one hyper that's ever going to be available to him, and it's just kind of always there. So there's an extra button in addition to the shot, rapid shot, bomb, and there's a hyper button. And so as long as that bar is flashing, that means he has a hyper available. Whereas with Spino, in Arrange A, he needs to physically collect those hypers, and he can stack up to 5 of them. So right now he has like, 4, almost 5 hypers that are ready here, about to go into the stage 2 mid-boss. And he'll have to physically collect those if they drop from the top of the screen there. So 4 hypers, he's going to pick them up in a second. 4.
I love to see the hypers just
It's the
rain
DDP
down.
Stage 2 boss.
Yep.
Another thing that we haven't talked about yet is hyper rank and danger
Oh, yeah.
lasers.
Right.
So the more you use hyper, oh man, the laser wheel, yeah. Okay, so that little spinning laser, how Spino just sat on top of that, and you see his score counter just fly up. He went from like 20 to 80,000 or something. That's a trick where essentially because he's constantly pushing that laser back, and he's in hyper mode, he's basically always canceling bullets. Like every frame, he's canceling multiple bullets because he's sitting on top of 5 lasers that are continuously spinning in a circle. So he's able to really, really crank up his hit counter. There's a similar trick in vanilla DFK that we'll probably see a lot in stage 5. what was I going to say? Oh, so hyper rank. So the more you use your hyper, the more challenging it is for your hyper to effectively cancel bullets, and the more bullets are fired at you when you're in hyper mode. So there will actually be bullets that will spawn other sub bullets that can attack you while you're in hyper mode, if you're at high hyper rank, and it will also occasionally spawn danger lasers, which are these kind of lasers that have a little danger symbol on them that slowly like spin around on the screen like a little pinwheel trying to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to watch HIS's timing with the B pickups. He seems to really be going for the score on those instead of any like hyper. So often he'll go for them just as they're flashing, which is quite tricky to time. I've seen him do it like many times.
Right, there you went.
Yeah, there you go. Got and then the ×2 bonus is because he's collecting them all in series, and he's not letting, which again he needs to do to get the loop correct. 102,000 hit count.
102K.
So I know in SDOJ there is a rank like number you can look at. I'm not sure if there's anything like that on this UI. I'm not seeing any sort of rank indicator.
There's not a visible indicator in DFK.
Yeah, but there is like a numerical rank, and managing in like the normal.
Yeah, definitely. If your hyper rank gets too high, it becomes basically impossible to cancel bullets, which, remember, canceling bullets is important for both your score and your ability to survive. So you want to be very careful with that.
Yeah, I remember Gamers mentioning something like that.
Hey, Softdrink, you know why HIS is milking the stage 2 boss here?
I don't. I unfortunately don't.
I see that he's like just tapping the boss a little bit with a laser just to keep his chain from going down.
Right.
But it looks like he wants to do something.
I think he might be trying to build up his hit count.
Yeah, it's just a really lucrative pattern to milk, I think.
Yeah, so I think
DFK time.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for the boss to shoot out a ton of bullets at once, and then he's going to hyper it, cancel all those bullets into hits, and then try to keep that alive for as long as he can.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go. And look at that hit counter go up. So he entered that with 13K.
It's just look at all those cancels. I think it's just really lucrative pattern to cancel and milk.
Yeah.
Well, and then the hit counter will be added to a multiplier that's applied to the value of the boss when you kill it too. So it's lucrative in that regard as well to have it high when you kill the boss. But remember, he's got to keep his chain up through the entire boss fight. So he can't really let up on the laser for too long, or it'll drop.
Yeah, that's why he's peeing.
That's why he's doing that little two.
Right. That's really cool.
So here he's about to go for it.
DFK is really interesting because it has a reputation for being, an easier game because of the auto-bombing system. But if you're playing it for score, Airbro mentioned this too, it's pretty brutal because, your auto-bomb wrecks your score.
Yeah. The auto-bomb will instantly drop your score to 0. Not your score, your hit count to 0.
It breaks your chain.
Yeah. And
you have to go for a lot of risky stuff.
When you're playing for score, you have to take more risks. See those danger lasers that I was talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Spawning on a HIS screen there. Now, this start of stage 3 is pretty famous as kind of a spot to milk for a lot of bullets. Ooh, very, very aggressive.
Nice.
And then the cancel as he comes out of hyper and then starts another hyper. Pretty cool. So one of the things you can do with the type B ship that HIS is playing is since it has like an angle shot, like a sway shot, so the direction you're moving in will influence the direction that its spread fires. And if you put yourself in the corner and move down and into the corner, your shots will kind of almost all go off the side of the screen. And he's able to use that as a way to prevent himself from killing most of the enemies on the screen and build up more and more and more hits.
I really wish the Type B ship in Dodonpachi worked the same way and had a sway shot rather than the weird jank shot that it has.
You mean the one where it can swivel 90 degrees?
Well, it has this weird delay on it too. It's not as intuitive as the DFK helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah. B is very good.
Yeah, I play B as well. It's my favorite ship type in the game.
B from what I hear is very good in DFK.
B is considered the strongest ship in DFK. It's the standard. If you're going to learn DFK.
Yeah, because it's very balanced. It's got, coverage, power, speed. Really well-balanced ship.
Yeah, B and SDOJ is a really, really good ship. and we'll be seeing that tomorrow. That's actually going to be used by Kayar for his expert play.
That'd be cool.
Oh my god, he's actually doing a live demo.
He's doing a live demo of expert
on SDOJ.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So looking at Spino right now, he's in 1-4. So 2-4 is where he's really very concerned about this run. So hopefully he'll make it into the Ura, but he seems pretty confident that he'll be able to pull that off. He's nervous about the run overall, but he feels pretty confident to get into Ura, and his goal is to do an Ura 2-all.
We do kind of have to talk about too, like, who is Daring? He just showed up one day and he's like, "Yeah, broke the world record." Like, who are you? The dude is a legend. I don't know like what his background is necessarily with shmups, but he showed up one day in my server and just
like a year ago, honestly.
Yeah.
Looking at his replays a year back, he was like focused on scoring novice.
Yeah, so he told me he started playing DFK 3 years ago, from 2017. And,
wow.
And he just kind of copied routes from the Xbox 360 first place leaderboards, and then eventually got to a point where he was effectively the world record holder. So props to him for just going for it and learning the game for all it's worth.
It definitely sort of a hidden boss, I consider.
So what he's doing here, and this is something he's been doing in a lot of the fights, is he's staying in normal mode for a while to let the boss kind of build up a whole bunch of bullets on the screen at once, and then switching into boost mode to very quickly cash in those into hit counts, and then switching back to normal.
Right.
And that's lucrative, but it's also potentially dangerous, as we found out a little bit earlier tonight when he actually crashed the game in one of his practice sessions because he was trying to do that switch too quickly against Hibachi. So it turns out there's a bug in the game where if you do that switch too rapidly, it can actually cause the game to soft lock.
Man,
that's in every port of DFK that we know of that has Arrange A. There is no arcade version of Arrange A.
Of Arrange.
Cave, get on it. The game is not too old to patch. It's still on Steam. Get in there.
I don't even know.
I heard some funny thing about the Steam port, actually. You know the scoring exploit in Ketsuipachi where you just milk the TLB for most of your points? So I actually heard that they fixed that bug, but only in practice mode.
All right, moving on.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right, but that's pretty good. So this is what the stage. Is that the stage 3 boss that we're seeing on HIS?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, stage 4 is my favorite boss.
Yeah. So stage 4 is great. Rayan, I think, is what she's called in this one.
I know.
Oh.
So that's why we got Softdrink
is,
here. He's the expert.
I am not an expert at DFK. I know
he knows the lore. He knows the names. He knows the scoring system. He knows it all.
Where's Airpo, man?
yeah. Airpo would be great on here.
Airpo's the DFK.
What we're seeing here is a lot of milking. So with the later bosses in DFK, you start seeing a ton of this kind of the same milking we were talking about before, where you're just building up hits off of the bullet patterns and trying to survive while doing so. So especially with stage 4, we're going to see a ton of milking of the stage 4 boss from HIS. I'm not sure exactly what Spino is going to be doing, but we'll find out.
Yeah, has he done any milking on the bosses so far, Spino?
He's probably going to do a lot of milking in loop 2.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any.
I wonder if it's a hyper rank situation or something like that, where he doesn't want to build his rank too high in the first loop or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'd believe that's a concern because I don't know how hyper. I know in the base game it gets set to a fixed level when you hit the Ura loop, but I don't know.
Yeah, I am not sure. It is interesting to note, though, it seems like there's less slowdown in the Arrange A.
Yeah.
Which is very strange.
Maybe because it's console exclusive, so they didn't have hardware limitations to balance stuff out, and so okay.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh,
just
Jesus
let it rock.
Christ. How long's the stage 3 milk been going on for?
It's been a while. It's been a couple minutes already. We're in the first phase.
Is he gonna time the boss out?
He's probably gonna get really close and then kill it. He's milking as much as he can out these.
You know what's crazy is he's not gaining massive amounts of hits. It's slowly tipping up.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, on how massive the chain is, he's just gaining like little bits at a time.
I'm so curious what's going to happen to Spino's hit count here in stage 5, because in the normal game, your hit counter can explode in stage 5 with some laser canceling stuff.
Yeah.
Camping on the little laser turrets to build a lot of hits too.
Although it seems like he's getting a lot more from just the regular bullets here.
Yeah.
Stage 5 is home to all of those.
Right.
Especially the most infamous section of DFK.
Oh yeah.
Man, this milk is so bizarre because milking in DFK with auto bombs is really scary. Like, if he makes a mistake here and takes a hit, he'll bomb, which will erase his hit count, which will make all of this milk basically meaningless because it won't apply to the boss bonus.
Yeah, it's like risky.
It's
for like these little bits of hits.
Yeah.
So, high level stuff. You gotta want all them hits.
This must be insanely nerve wracking because he's just going through those pink walls every single iteration.
Yeah. Well, the gap between them is a little bit bigger than it looks because the hitbox is very small for the player ship, but also the bullet hitboxes are smaller than they look for those pink bullets. But it's
it's still pretty precise.
Okay,
pretty
there we go.
Hallelujah! Made it through.
Oh, man.
All right, phase 2.
We're probably just going to see him go straight through this because I don't believe there's significant milking to be done in stage.
Yeah, I don't
phase 2.
And
there are a couple patterns that have a lot of bullets, like that one right there. But
on Daring's side, he's going into everyone's favorite section of the game.
Yeah, so here's something interesting. In a range A, you can destroy the laser wheels.
Oh,
snap! You can, I know. Gasp!
Hallelujah! Yeah. They know what the people want.
Payback!
So you have to do it with the laser. So he's not able to destroy all of them because his route requires that he be using shot for part of this. And apparently the shot doesn't damage the laser wheel at all. But yeah, I mean, you'll see that he's just like straight out destroying parts of the laser wheels here.
That's so awesome. Definitely my least favorite part of the stage.
166,000. And HIS is out of 1-3.
I wonder if the counter stops.
Yeah, you just went right through those last couple phases.
Just burned through those.
And there was a bomb from Spino. Not sure if that was a
bomb. Boy.
You might see a reset.
Definitely a bomb, yeah.
Oh, he's gonna use his reset.
Yeah, he may use his reset. So he was telling me that he's a little nervous about the first loop because he has to use less than 2 bombs in order to make the Ura loop.
Right.
Yep.
And I guess he's not super confident that he'd be able to do that after that one there. So
it's actually a pretty big risk because he was pretty close. So
yeah, definitely.
If
he was almost at the end.
Blows it this second reset, because he played through basically the entire first loop there.
But I mean, at the rate we're going, he'll probably get back to stage 5 by the time HIS is done with stage 4. So.
Right.
Yeah, the stage 4 milk's gonna last forever, probably.
Yeah, the stage 4 milk lasts a long time.
Oh god.
So, fun fact: HIS is playing version 1.5. You may be wondering why 1.5.
Oh yeah.
There was a trivial counter stop in 1.0.
Yes.
Oh,
we saw that in Shmup Slam.
Where you can CS the game in like just stage 5 alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people were counter stopping by stage 3, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, like
it had all kinds of
the problem.
It had all these sort of silly properties too, right? Where when you got a bomb stock, it refill all your bombs and all kinds of stuff.
They made some adjustments.
And there's a safe spot on Hibachi.
Oh, that's right.
Whoops.
They definitely fixed that one.
Yeah, they fixed that. I forgot about that. Yeah, that'd
Sounds
be
like I need to start
right?
playing 1.0.
Or is that just only in DL? I think that's just only. Yeah. Anyway.
Get my first cave counter stop.
I think there's videos. So you can find 1.0 emulated properly, or have a counter stop your first cave game.
There you go. We don't need to mention the name of the game. We'll just, mention that it's a cave counter stop and leave it at that.
Dodonpachi DFK. Yeah. Man. It's interesting to see the routing for stage 4 here, because again, he has to keep careful to keep his chain up at all times. HIS I'm talking about right now, sorry. Because while his hyper gauge is filled like that, if he has any drops, he will lose his whole hit counter all at once. And there's some particularly tricky parts to extend coming up here. For most of the first half of stage 4, there's just kind of a lot of like strings of popcorn enemies that come down you can use to keep things going. But towards the end here, there's going to be some really like some sections where there's some really large enemies that he has to kind of precisely time when he's going to kill those and then move over to the accompanying popcorn string. So
this is
it's a little bit more like the kind of chaining you would see in Dodonpachi or DOJ. Over there, uncovering those 3 Bs all at once.
With like a little bit of Futari mixed in there because of the pillar cancels and stuff. Or whatever, the lighthouse, whatever they are, laser wheel thing.
Yeah. These big like spinny tank things.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's kind of interesting about that, though, is that since you can get hit count off of the lasers, they're actually a little bit easier. Ironically, it's these like larger, like fixed enemies, like or the big wing guys that just came down.
Right.
And then here, he's going to try to delay this kill so that he can carry it a little into the boss. Because once that boss warning pops up, he won't lose his chain. Which is kind of an interesting thing. So it's just sort of stuck there, and then he's able to keep it going right up as soon as he enters the boss.
Yeah, he did do it. So he left one of the rockets there. That lets you get a ton of damage on phase before the pattern starts. It's surprisingly precise to do to get that last rocket to just fall off the screen.
Yeah, a lot of what we're going to see against this boss looks pretty trivial, but it's absolutely not. The milk, it looks boring, but that's because he's very good at it.
Right.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
And another thing you can notice is just how high the hyper rank is starting to get. How the bullets are sort of like the patterns look kind of melty because the bullets are getting slowed down at different rates. So that has to do a lot with kind of how durable those bullets have become thanks to that hyper rank getting cranked up. I believe that the hyper rank slightly resets after each stage, but it is overall still cumulatively increasing. I could be thinking about Black Label.
I believe in 1.5 on loop 1, your hyper rank is decreased by stages, and then I believe in both versions, the Mote and the second, you're set to a fixed. I could maybe
Here we are. We're
people in chat joking about the catch up. So one of the reasons that this milk is going to work is that he's not able to build up a new hyper quickly enough to get to a point where his hyper gauge will immediately drop if he drops his chain. So there will actually be some slight chain drops, but the hits that he's able to gain continuously are still overall a net positive. You just got to be really careful here.
Right. I get the feeling this is gonna be a while.
It probably will, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any boss milking in the second loop at all, or is that just take him out as quick as possible? Do you know?
I believe there still is.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why you would.
DFK is a long game.
DFK is a very long game. I thought it was just, like, after watching that STG Weekly episode, I thought it was just power style, but no, it's the entire game.
Yeah, it's the game.
The stream estimate for DFK is 2 hours, so...
Whoa.
Oh. Imagine playing this awesome games done quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the chat is joking about that a little bit. KZ in chat saying, awesome games done, Q-U-I-C-K. Although Range A seems to be clipping along pretty decently. You know, the slowdown, I think, is making a huge difference in the perceived length of the game.
He's just powering through now. Now it feels like he's moving at a healthy pace compared to all this boss milking.
All right, so...
This looks like my screensaver. This could be a screensaver.
Getting right up on there, yeah.
You got him.
That was a really good way to take care of that last. That last pattern is
yeah,
it's even worse.
Really bad.
Hypering really in like bad. That to get the invincibility, kill the boss like
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, Spino approaching the boss of stage 3 for the second time.
Not to scare any of the viewers, but there are still 5 minutes on the reset allowance. So theoretically, his could reset and then replay and remilk all those stages. That would be pretty crazy.
Don't give him ideas there, Mark.
They need to like double the reset.
You try this hit counter right here. He's sitting right on top of a spinning kind of turret that shoots out 3 lasers at the same time. And this strategy in the opening of stage 5 can really quickly crank your hit count up. So he's only like 30 seconds into stage 5, and he's already 8K, and he's about to do it again on a second set of turrets. So by the time he's out of this, we'll probably see him at like 16, 17K, and he's going to try to carry that through the whole stage. And doing that in stage 5 is very tricky. First of all, because stage 5 is just hard.
He's just killing the second set.
No, he's just killing the second set. Yeah, interesting. I mean,
I wonder if it's for hyper.
It certainly could be.
Could be because hidden multiplier.
Whoa, that was a dodge.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. Yeah, here, so in stage 5, we're going to see him doing a little bit more kind of traditional DDP style chaining in some parts, because again, there's a lot of sections where it's just like tons and tons of Zako coming, but there's also a lot of parts. Oh man, that safe spot.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was cool.
Yo,
that's illegal. That's illegal.
That is a beautiful safe spot.
Oh, that was great. But there's a lot of sections in stage 5 where you have to delay things just a little bit. It seems very lenient watching someone at this level play, but it's actually quite tricky to do some of these links,
right.
Especially doing it as cleanly as he does without using auto bomb.
Especially with the rank at where it is right now.
Right now it's just a pile of Zaka, so it's not.
Yeah, right now he can just kind of go back and forth, but then this part that right there, that didn't look like anything that happened. But he, killing that one enemy on the left and then moving to exactly where that tank was going to be, just to get his laser in the right position there. So,
and unfortunately,
and at the laser wheels,
he cannot take out these laser.
Yeah, in 1.5 they are invincible, and there's shot laser wheels and laser wheels, and the laser ones are the ones that usually give people the most trouble. But trust me, they're all deadly. If he touches them, he will die, just like collision with any airborne enemy. So he's got to be routed very precisely around them. And remember, he's still got to pick up all the bees, and he still wants to avoid dropping his chain at all. So,
a very tough section.
The physical hitbox of those lasers is kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder how he's going to do them in the second loop.
Oh my god.
Just.
So far, he's been really precise on it. This coming up, there's going to be some wheels that come from the lower left, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, right there. And that's a very tricky kind of cut through that he just did. Nice. Yeah, very clean. Very clean.
That cutback is really.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're just playing this game for survival, you have a ton of resources to rely on at this point, because you can just kind of throw lives and auto bombs at it. But since he's playing for score, he's playing to get to the Ur loop, he basically can't use any of those resources. He has to play as precisely as he possibly can here. So.
Yeah, DFK 1.5 is definitely one of the easiest purely survival clears.
Yeah, absolutely.
By far. But
this looks
when you're playing for score,
you're
playing by a different rule set now.
Oh boy, yeah, there you go. Just get right in there. Oh my Jesus. And get the B too. There's 2 B's you got to pick up here. There's another one up top. He's got to grab before it scrolls off.
There's bees sandwiched between the laser wheels? Why, Cave?
Because you need to suffer.
And now coming into the second mid-boss in stage 5.
Oh,
nice, made it through. Left that chopper alive too to get
that chain link at the end right there. Ooh, nice hyper invuln abuse, just getting right up in the boss's face. Fun misdirection happening here too.
This is stage 6, DDP stage 6 boss, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Sounds.
Meanwhile, Darren coming up on the end of stage 4.
Oh, the race is on.
Some really precise hyper use from Spino here. Like he keeps getting in situations where it looks like he's about to take a hit, and then hyper right at the right moment to bring himself through it. And knowing how precisely his routes are set up here, I wouldn't be surprised if he's kind of relying on that. Just got to be exactly right here, and then
Right.
hyper just before he takes that hit. 21,000 in stage 5. Wow. Oh boy.
That's a pretty big score. Pretty big counter.
Yeah,
Pretty
definitely.
big chain.
Pretty
I
big.
mean, you say it's pretty big, and then you look at the other screen, and it's like, oh, 160K.
Well, it just gives you an
I
interesting
mean, they're
perspective.
they're two different modes, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty funny to just compare them side by side.
Well, I mean,
It's easy
talking about
to-
it that way, in a range A, you can use 5 hypers at once. So, I guess it kind of makes sense that the counter would be about 5 times higher.
It's basically like the newer the mode, the bigger the numbers. That's all you need to know.
Well, not really.
Except for an
'cause Range B is
SDOJ.
entirely different beast.
SDOJ
DFK.
scores are in the trillions. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no, hit count, I mean.
50, 60K, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty high.
They make an SDOJ at range, and the hits go into like the 7 digits.
Oh, man. So this is kind of a fun throwback to DOJ Stage 4 coming up with this giant turret comes out here.
Yep.
It's only in one piece this time, so you don't have to blow up all the parts separately.
It's floating.
It's got
But,
wheels.
no, it's on big tracks actually.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on big old
it
tracks.
looks weird. It looks weird because I'm so used to like it being like a little building that's like in a fixed position, but here it looks
Yeah.
like it's floating.
Yeah, definitely. Well, kind of everything in DFK looks like it's floating a little bit. But,
Yeah.
Like, and there's a bunch of fan
Technology
games
has advanced.
where they just take that sprite and just put it in a random location, and it's like, oh, floating turret,
One
cool.
bee and another bee, and there you go. That should be all of the bees for the first loop. Now heading into Shooty.
Oh,
Really, really solid loop 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
This boss has some patterns.
you think?
Yeah.
think
This
Daring will be
boss has some.
Yeah,
you know,
especially
he
the
shoots some
grenades.
bullets.
Oh.
This
You
is
think
the- this
Daring
is
will
the
be
nice
able
pattern.
to get to the boss before the milk is done? Because this milk also lasts a pretty long time.
I suspect he will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
he's just
we'll
wrecking
see.
him.
So far, HIS is moving through it quite fast.
Yeah, the grenades.
Oh man, this pattern is so mean.
Yeah.
Oh, these
He is
grenades.
weaving in the grenades. Don't the grenades have collision?
They
Yeah,
do, but
if they hit you, they hurt you.
when you activate a hyper, you have a brief moment of invulnerability.
Okay, it's a hyper. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
that was stressful.
Yeah, so like right there, he's just sitting right up on top of her. There you go. All right, and then we should see Urloop.
I've actually, I can't remember
Speed
what
healed.
the cutscene is for that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a cutscene. So yeah, we won't get the catch up right here.
So they are now locked out. No more resetting the runs.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
challenge mode for Softdrink to re-commentate all that again.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
I just wish I knew more about DFK so I could do this, a little bit more legitimately. Especially at range A. Like that
Yeah,
just seems
it's
like a really cool mode, especially since it has more in common with DOJ, which I really like DOJ. So range A has always appealed to me a little bit. But I've never really put any time into studying it. So mad props to for sticking with it and pulling this out.
Range A is really cool because it's this kind of almost perfect blend of DFK.
Yeah, I've always really liked it. It's interesting how the arranges on the port have Katsui and DOJ influences, paying
Yeah,
tribute
definitely.
to their
Yeah.
previous games.
So, hang on, check out the hyper rank in HIS's screen right now. So he's canceling bullets that are spawning other bullets to come shoot at him. He's getting tons of danger lasers going around screen all the time. And just in general, like the amount of stuff that's being thrown at him constantly is dramatically higher than it was in the first loop. But at the same time, his hit count is dramatically higher. So that's the primary reason why people are always going for the OR loop if you're playing for scores, because you get really, really, really high hit counts as a
Right.
result of all the crap that's thrown at you, because the bullet count being thrown at you is directly proportional to your hit count.
It's
And
like
now
high
he'll
risk,
probably
high
go-
reward stuff.
Ooh, okay, auto bomb.
Ooh, okay, so he lost his
That's
chain there.
bad luck.
Yeah, that's-
Ooh.
and as you can see, his hit count went all the way down, and then another one. Was that a manual bomb or an auto bomb? I
That
didn't
was
quite
manual.
catch
That was manual.
That definitely.
That was definitely manual. So I asked Airpo, because in the previous Dodonpachi game, or at least DDP1, the maximum bonus is very important to scoring. And I asked him, hey, is maximum bonus important in this game? He's like, no, not at all. So, like, doing that manual bomb basically didn't really matter as far as after his chain already dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's interesting. He bombed there, and I'm not quite sure why. I wonder if that's some kind of like a rank control, maybe.
Yeah, probably because
and that looked like a suicide.
Probably he's probably getting that rank.
Yeah, I believe.
Drop down.
Actually, I'm thinking about it in Urloop. Die with your hyper rank.
Also, 200,000 hit count.
200,000 hit count.
Go, yeah.
Oh man, and timing out the mid boss just so we can get even more hits out of it. Oh man.
Agreed.
Yeah, someone in the chat said lowering the hyper rank.
Okay.
Before the boss and then suicide.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. When you're really jank, you can do that in DOJ too.
Scary.
Yeah, because I think your hyper rank carries over from stage to stage. Or a loop. Like in the first loop to a fixed stage as you go.
Man,
I
so
believe
much on the screen.
Like the hyper rank is so complicated.
Yeah. 278,000.
He's still going.
He's still going. Probably gonna break 300. Oh man.
This game is very hard to watch on low resolution. Oh. I had to turn my resolution up.
Okay, that was an auto bomb there. Looked like.
But his
looks like his counter's
still alive.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it doesn't go down in a range A. That's quite interesting. Yeah, again, I wish I knew more about a range A so that I.
Because he's still on his pace for 300, so it couldn't have been that big of a penalty.
Yeah. There you go, 300,000, 310,000.
Whoa.
314,000, 320,000. Oh, not quite yet.
Oh.
320. God.
This just looks like a clicker, like those numbers going up.
Meanwhile, HIS at 14.5 just after the mid boss in stage 2-2.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like the lesson we're learning is the better you get at DFK, the more it looks like Crimson Clover.
Oh yeah, especially with it being very difficult on a lower stream quality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was a bad place to get hit there with HIS, but yeah. So I mean, this is the thing about DFK, right? It's like when you're playing just for survival, it's a pretty straightforward game if you just kind of resource spam your way through it. But
yeah,
at high level, you have to utilize like everything so precisely and keep hold of all those resources for as long as you can in order to just make it to the loop. And then the loop just cranks the difficulty so much, like you actually need those resources.
Oh, I think Daring is milking stage 5 boss.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's probably milking her for more hits. Yeah, so this switching between normal and boost over and over and over again, getting the boss to kind of put more stuff out on the screen and then canceling it all.
Is this where he got the lock, the soft lock?
No, he got it against Hibachi.
Oh, okay.
Worst place you could possibly get it. Nice, good job dodging the explosions there. That can be actually quite challenging to do. The hitboxes on them are really weird.
Yeah, that pattern's tough.
Here, just totally chilling in the corner in boost mode.
Oh, jeez.
345k. Oh, man.
I can't imagine resetting after that. Like, if I had to play DFK and I messed up really late in the run, I would just give up and leave. I would just walk away.
Uninstall the game.
These hyper timings are so tight on Daring's run. Like, looking at him getting right up on top of Shooty and then, using another hyper right before his invulnerability runs out. And he's up there to collect it. Like, his hyper's about to run out. So he goes up there in the middle of all of her patterns, grabs the next hyper, uses it immediately so he has more invul so he can get back down to the bottom of the screen to cancel more bullets. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can tell it's a very well-rehearsed run, very well-rehearsed route.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like he also made the Ur loop, which is good, because I know he was a little concerned about that. Also, check this out. HIS, the rank is so high that the lasers are being canceled into other bullets. So you cancel the laser cancels into a bullet, and of course you can't cancel bullets while you're lasering.
Right.
At least in vanilla DFK. In Black Label you can, but that's a whole other conversation. So the fact that the lasers are now spawning bullets is quite another thing altogether. 11K right at the start of stage 2-3 though. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, he's taking hits. Well, oof. Like I said, after he did that one bomb, the second bomb, whatever.
So I'm not quite able to count this high, but I believe we're at 2 trillion on Daring's side.
It's hard to see the number, but yeah. I see a 2.7 going on.
Yeah, but it's hard to see how many digits are behind it. That's the part that really matters here. Oh boy.
Look at the high score though. 70. Is that 7.8 trillion or is that like 78 trillion?
I think it's 7.8 trillion. I'm not. Oh.
What are you doing, Darren?
Oh.
Was that an accidental pause?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Because he seems to be fine.
I'm gonna be watching for some kind of something in the chat. Maybe the commentators know what was happening there. He might be an Omote. Someone's suggesting that in the chat, which could be the case. Yeah, it looks like he's in Omote. Yeah.
Oh.
ZPSSD in the chat is saying.
Well, he can't reset though. He's got to play it out.
He can't research. He's got to play it out. So another important observation from Muzo in the general chat. The hit counter becomes basically irrelevant in vanilla 1.5 after you hit 10K because at that point the multiplier that is actually applied to the get points that you're getting from each enemy reaches the maximum value it can. And this is one of the things that's very confusing about the way DDP games are actually working internally. The hit count that you see is not the multiplier that you have. So, when you hit, I'm making these numbers up right now. I don't know what they actually are. You hit certain breakpoints, and those breakpoints are what influences the multiplier that's applied to your get points. So, for example, say the first breakpoint is at 2,000. So you get 2,000 hits, and then you get a 2 times multiplier that's applied to your get points. So once you get to 10,000 in vanilla DFK, you hit that maximum breakpoint that the multiplier will be applied. So anything beyond that is effectively just like you're doing that for the boss bonus because there is a separate multiplier that's applied to that, and also the canceling of the bullets itself is valuable. In Black Label, it's quite different. Black Label, the scores can go much higher because the multiplier is more directly applied.
Interesting. I never knew that.
And it sounds like HIS isn't Aura. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Suicide's probably for rank.
One looked like a suicide. I didn't see the one before that.
It's a pattern. That's a pattern.
No.
So I'm assuming he's locked out of extra extends at this point, right? He got that hidden extend already. Is that HS I'm talking about? He's locked out of extra extends, or I'm not sure how the extend system works in DFK.
I really wish that we had someone knowledgeable about DFK because there's so much.
Look at that
weird,
cancel on Daring's side.
There's so much going on here that I just am missing because I'm not that knowledgeable about this game.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we're running two different very.
Yeah, right.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm assuming though he's not going to get any more extends.
No worries. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Big juicy cancels.
And HIS just kind of delaying the kill on that so he can keep the chain through it.
Right, keep the chain.
Yep. But again, it's kind of interesting because while you're hypering, you can rebuild your chain just by shooting other bullets that are on screen. So that's always kind of fun in DFK. Yeah, DFK gets really quite dense in the second loop.
Right. I wonder if there are any sort of slowdown shenanigans where certain patterns are going to speed up on him as he clears the enemies. That can be an issue in original Dodonpachi for sure.
That's something we're going to definitely have to. I know at least in the stages.
I hate it when that happens so much. It's like it
it's
lags
really,
and then it's just like boom, full speed.
Yeah, it's really bad in Dodonpachi in certain places.
Interesting manipulation of the boss movement by HIS. How it's just completely off the screen.
Yeah. Well, take that. Job done.
Yeah, right.
I must go. My people need me.
And Daring just kind of chilling in the corner, getting all those bullets.
So do we know why he ended up in a Mote rather than Ura? Did he die too many times or miss a B or something?
He may have
just missed a B.
Yeah, he may have missed a B. It seemed like he only bombed the once. I mean, I can't say that I caught everything. It's possible he bombed twice, but it looked like he only auto-bombed the once.
This would be an interesting section for HIS.
Yeah, this is very, very tight here for him. Lots of nice little streams here, and then getting that cancel on the big tank. So coming down the descent here, kind of reminiscent of the Ketsui descent, but just so much easier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and it's on stage 4 as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the descent in Ketsui's in stage 5. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's crazy how high he's getting this.
I think autobomb and DFK works similarly to how it works in SDOJ. Like you get a shorter duration bomb and it kills your. Does it kill your chain in SDOJ completely?
I believe it does. Yeah.
But I believe you only consume one bomb in DFK, but in SDOJ, like it takes your entire stock.
Right. It uses your whole stock. Yeah.
It may depend on the style. I can't. Strong style definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the arrange A ship, you usually can only carry one bomb anyway, so...
Right. And here we go. Milking time. I'm not sure if we're actually going to see it in second loop, but I believe we are. Yeah, getting that one canister to come off separately again.
Yep,
so,
it looks like he's setting up
certainly looks like the same setup.
Huge damage. Oh, wow. So much damage.
Bullets. I appreciate that reference. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's a fun safe spot. Just that's right up there.
Wow. Pinging the boss as usual.
Right. Just get right up in there. Don't worry about it. Oh my god, look at this boss.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Also, like, that looks very...
Yeah, definitely. And even just these little kind of taps with the laser, it's very rehearsed. Ooh, inside the pattern.
Right.
Ooh.
The ship aura must give more hits.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might be similar to DOJ, because that's definitely a mechanic in DOJ where the aura from the laser gives you extra hits.
Yeah,
and in fact, you use it against the stage 4 boss, which summons a bunch of little drones like that.
Yeah, I do recall
he has to dodge the suicide bullets too.
So Daring was telling me he's a little worried about stage 2-4. There's a lot of areas where he can get sniped very easily by lasers in the stage. So let's pay attention. Wish him well. So far, it seems like he's handling it, but okay, bomb there. Did anyone catch if that was an auto bomb or a manual bomb?
It looked like HIS auto bombed, so he just went and like bombed for suicide.
Yeah, so now he's probably just doing rank. Yeah, and then the clean route for the final pattern.
If he messes up the milk, does that like basically give him no score from it?
I mean, he gets the points from the bullets, but he won't get the multiplier from the boss at the end.
Yeah.
We're still sitting at 400 viewers. That's impressive considering the time.
Yeah, this is definitely doing pretty well. Man, 2-5. Yeah, this is midday.
Yeah.
For the Western people, though.
Yeah, definitely.
There's
quite a few of those in the chat.
For the Western audience like us, this is like a graveyard shift.
Yep. I see ZPS is still there.
Mark had mentioned earlier, it'd be interesting to see what the analytics on the viewership is like by region.
I know. I would love to see that.
Some of these dodges from HIS are just so precise right here. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when I saw his name
pretty even.
On the overlay,
predominantly English.
But at the same time, like pretty much the entirety of the Western shmup community is watching.
Yeah, it could be.
At least the stream boys, the ones that tune into all the streams, we're all here.
Yeah, definitely. I saw Trap15 in the chat earlier, which is pretty cool. He moved to Japan recently, so he's probably just watching in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Working on Fire Lancer.
Daring made it all the way to the boss, so looks like 2-4 was no match for him. Good. Looks like he may also be gearing up for a milk of some sort, or at least using that same setup with the first phase.
Oh, took a hit there. That was an auto bomb for sure.
That dodge from HIS on the mid boss.
Oh man, 2-5 is so scary. Look at this. Look at this.
This is kind of like the Descent 2, where it's scrolling backwards.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
The PS2 breaker right here.
This Zaka is utterly terrifying.
Oh, such a nice cutback. Like, it's really hard to appreciate just how random that section is. Like, all of the bullets that are coming down there, it's all just kind of crap. Like, it's just thrown at you, and you have to deal with it. And HIS just made it look easy.
Zako, I think, shoot pattern. I think they're those are.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah, it's pretty.
No, loop 2 laser wheels time.
Still going for all the Bs, but check out how the laser wheels shoot on both sides now. They shoot on the front and the back.
Twice the fun.
What?
Oh man, yeah. There you go. All right, he's through the first set.
I remember Airpo talking about Loop 2 laser wheels on the SDG Weekly episode, and he's like, he didn't bother learning some of it because it was like really hard.
Yeah, if Airpo says something's really hard, it's probably really hard. All right, and Spino, it looks like, is also in stage 5.
Wow. Insane performances by both.
Yeah, definitely.
It is kind of cool to see the different modes side by side
on his side.
The one advantage Spino has is that he can kill the laser wheels.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's also going to try to go for a milk on Shooty at the end of the stage. So, but he said he's a little worried about that because it's kind of unpredictable how she behaves. So, hopefully he gets good RNG with that.
So we won't be seeing a Hibachi from Daring because he's in the Emote loop.
I think Daring's score might be like off the screen. People in chat are saying that the score is too long to be properly displayed.
Look, there's like some kind of weird box going on around his counter.
That's been there the whole time, actually. That's just his chain counter.
Yeah, once it gets to a certain point, you get there.
Oh, I see.
The rainbow is just his chain timer.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, if you look at it, it coordinates with the chain timer bar in the corner.
That's obnoxious because it makes it hard to see what's going on under your chain counter.
Oh my god, HIS! Oh man, that was a good hyper timing. Oh man, and of course to keep the the chain through as well. Going for a quick kill. But look at this. Even with that hyper, like, those bullets are just, they're not going away. They're just staying around.
I don't know if HIS has the resources to afford a suicide blow to the hyper rank at this point.
I don't believe he does. We might see something like more towards Golden Disaster and Hibachi, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can see throwing a life at Disaster.
Yeah.
Not here in stage.
He can still clear Ura with these resources, right?
I think so. I don't know exactly. I don't know what his routes are like.
I don't think he's taken.
Daring took a hit out of hyper there, it looks like, but was able to get back into it. He's clearing out the wheels as soon as they show up, pretty much. So, meanwhile, HIS over here, just like, man, some of this movement.
Yeah, HIS might be down maybe to be.
It's crazy how much Daring has caught up.
Yeah.
He's getting,
Yeah, the milking is different, and the lack of slowdown is definitely making a big difference.
Also, the invulnerability, man. He's just phasing right through these.
Yeah, so he's just abusing invincibility from Spino here, just like absolutely abusing the invincibility. I think he gets invincibility coming out of hyper as well, so he's able to just kind of go in and out as he pleases.
HIS just auto.
Oh my god, HIS! Oh, that was some dodging.
I don't even. Also, these laser turrets are worst.
Yeah, these ones that shoot 3 ways at once, and again, when he pushes those lasers back, they start spawning regular bullets too. So he's got to be really careful about how he times his movement through there.
Yeah, that was really nice how he adjusted shot and just.
Yeah, definitely. So here's another one of these big guys. Boy, nice, very nice.
Ooh,
those tanks that shoot the pink spirals look really nasty too.
Yeah, they are
everything in everything
hidden run killers.
The cannon.
Yeah, coming up on the big turret here.
Oh, cannon time.
Nice cutbacks. Oh man.
Oh god.
Nicely done.
That was
these dodges.
Yeah, that was really clean.
One more Mesozaka.
And these, they look kind of gross with the patterns they're firing, but it's actually mostly, one stream is aimed mostly at you, and then the other ones on the sides are aimed mostly away from you, so it's not quite as bad as it looks.
The only real should.
Yeah. The hyper rank.
I know, it's basically non-existent now.
He's just like, yeah, he's hypered, but it's mostly just causes him to slow down, and he still has to dodge everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the hyper is more for kill bullets.
Yeah. This is great.
Meanwhile,
Spino's almost caught up. He's almost back up to Shooty himself. Man, check out this milking for hits on these laser turrets, though. That's super cool. 280k. Wow. Probably going to hit 300 again. All right. HIS done with Spino. We should now see Golden Disaster.
Boom, no milking on HIS's side.
Mm-hmm. CPS in the main chat saying HIS might be able to no miss, no bomb Hachi.
Wow.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know enough about DFK TLDs
first.
Yeah, exactly. In Black Label, there's some ways you can kind of cheese these fights pretty dramatically, but I don't know enough about vanilla DFK to comment.
I don't recall there being anything you could do for Hibachi.
406,000 hits.
406,000. Damn. And he's going to try to milk Shooty too. Wow.
Very solid play from both of these players.
That hyper on HIS's side is purely
down. It's just for slowdown at that point. Like, man. Okay, so that pattern, yeah. So in I think Black Label's where you can kind of abuse that pattern to get a whole bunch of hyper back. But it looks like HIS just kind of always has a reserve hyper available, which in this fight is working immensely in his favor.
So actually, that's at least on strong side. I believe power style aura.
You aura the drones?
If you aura the drones, that's.
Oh man, look at Spino! Look at that pattern. What the heck was that?
What? I think you're supposed to hyper through it. There's no way you can dodge that.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
I can only assume his rank is.
All right, and HIS through Golden Disaster. Time for Hibachi.
One angry bee.
Yeah, bring it
the
on.
The angriest bee.
This first pattern isn't too terrifying. Yet?
Yeah, yet. Oh boy. Oh boy.
And he's dodging this all unfocused.
Yeah. Well, so he's dodging unfocused because that will generate more slowdown. Because the hyper is trying to stop all of those bullets. But because the rank is so high, he's not actually able to cancel those bullets. So instead, it just kind of slows them all down. So he already built up another hyper by pushing those lasers back and auraing Hibachi himself. So I think now he's going to, point blank him again to try to generate another hyper.
Wow. Huge point blank.
Yeah. And Hibachi does have a shield here. Ooh, auto bomb. Okay, that's a bummer. Meanwhile, Spino is still taking down Shooty there.
I don't think that auto bomb is a big deal. Okay, here we go. Now it's on.
Yeah. Now we got the famous patterns here.
It's time for the spam.
Oh boy.
So yes, you were seeing that right. There's just a wall of lasers radial, also shooting arrow bullets, and also the lasers shoot bullets because of hyper when you cancel.
Chat's bummed he died. Yeah, I don't blame you. Man, that's tight. That's some tight dodges. So funny to see the encoding quality just like tank.
Yeah.
So one thing we didn't mention about the laser bullet, they are shot out at angles from the laser, so you get this lovely spiral effect of all this laser being canceled.
Yeah. Spino heading into Golden Disaster, I believe. Your fortitude is an obscenity. It delights me that you're progressing towards your true potential. Thanks to your endeavors, our well-laid plan to alter the future will already bear fruit. At last, it is time for you to die.
So that was one life spent on Hibachi there for HIS.
Yeah, man, that was impressive.
GG on Hibachi.
That was good. And yeah, that Hibachi was really clean.
So since we're seeing Golden Disaster, are we going to see Hibachi as well?
I don't think so, but I don't know exactly. I don't know how the TLBs work.
Golden Disaster is always, like, if you loop, you always get Golden Disaster. Or loop, then you get Hibachi.
Okay.
Is this going to be a straightforward speed kill? Yeah.
Yeah, but there you go.
Nicely done.
Oh, congratulations to both players.
Dang.
So yeah, DFK. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game, and there's a lot of different.
And we're up to 421 people.
Hell yeah!
And now we have an hour until Friday starts up.
Holy smokes!
We seriously have an hour?
An hour?
Yeah, they allotted 2 hours for this, which even with all the milking on HIS's run, I don't think it would have taken more than an hour and a half. I don't think it would have taken an hour and a half.
I guess they were counting on doing all the milking and then dying and restarting, like I was saying.
Yeah, I think they were expecting HIS.
I think Spino just missed the whole game. ZPS noticed that in chat, and I think that's correct.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think he only bombed a couple times and missed a B.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Emote no misses. Nothing to sneeze at. Like the emote is still hard.
Extremely impressive.
Still hard.
Absolutely, I've tried it. It's not a walk in the park. Especially when you start building up that hyper rank. That's when the patterns start getting real aggressive.